What seeds can you sow in March? Please excuse any noise that you hear in the background. I'm a work from home mama. So let's do this. Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at the seeds that you can sow in March. I feel like the question should be, what can you not sow in March? Because pretty much the floodgates open and your favorites are back on the table for sowing. Okay guys, so one of the first things you really want to get a move on with at the start of March, like at your first and most early opportunity, if you haven't done so already, would definitely be your aubergines, your chilies, and your peppers as well, because they really do benefit from a long growing season. I have several peppers that I'm going to be growing, too long to list in this video, but I only have 3 aubergines. So I'm going to go through some of the aubergines that I'm going to be planting this year. Now, typically I have had my best harvests, most reliable, and my most prolific aubergine plant has definitely been Moneymaker. It produces really good size fruits, really tender, really tasty, like faultless aubergines. But I'm curious to try these this year. This is going to be the first time I'm growing the Aswad eggplant. This one is from Baker's Creek. It's an Iraqi variety. Huge, satiny, dark purple, black fruit, up to 3 pounds. Sweet and tender, it says on the packet, and I'm really impressed at the size of it compared to this dog right here. So I'm expecting it to be a really good size fruit. And then there's the Mitoyo. This is actually from Japan. Large oval fruit, tear-shaped and nearly black. Flesh is very tender and sweet. So the description of it being tender, fleshed and sweet really got my attention. And then I'm going to have the prolific nature of the Moneymaker, and I feel like I'm going to have the entire garden covered. One eggplant I will not be growing again was this Turkish orange eggplant. I didn't really realize how small the aubergines were, but they were virtually the size of a cherry tomato. I don't know what happened to them, but yeah, they were definitely not worth planting. Other things that I would suggest that you do is make sure that you are thinking about flowers as well, because the more flowers you have in your garden, the more fruit you're going to have, because you're going to have more pollinators and they're going to be busy working on the flowering fruit as well. So some of my favorites, zinnias are like the easiest to grow. And they're prolific, and as the summer wears on, they just become more and more prolific. I've never planted a zinnia that has not performed well, honestly. I'm going to put some of my favorites on the screen. I also love cosmos in the garden. They really do fill out and produce a wonderful display. It's a great time to get your sunflowers planted into trays, of course. And nasturtiums. Nasturtiums are very faithful at reseeding the following year. So wherever you plant them, just be aware that that's going to be a possibility, because they produce a ton of seed and it's really good at surviving over the winter time. But nasturtiums, I feel, is like essential to any garden that I'm going to grow. Acts as a trap crop, attracts bugs away from your precious cabbages, etc. Is also edible, and it's a win-win. Every single part of the nasturtium is actually edible. So yeah, definitely make sure that you have that in your garden. Let's talk about the darlings of the summer, tomatoes. Guys, you can definitely get your tomatoes in, even if you're being very conservative. Around here we have our last frost. I'm equivalent of US zone 8 where I live, and we have our last frost first or second week of May generally, and even at that we can definitely get our seeds into pots now. I'm just going to tell you some of my absolute favorites. The Sunrise Bumblebee, really sweet, really fruity taste, and one of the earliest to arrive. I'm very excited about growing Queen of the Night. I've not actually grown this variety before, so I'm very excited about growing that. Also, Sun Gold. Sun Gold will always have a place in my garden. Hands down, my absolute favorite cherry tomato. I'm also going to be growing indigo blue chocolate. And I'm very excited about the Hanging Prince, which is a tomato that you can grow, pick a truss of, and hang that in your home and just eat from it. Eat fresh tomatoes, and then it becomes sun-dried as well. Ones that I haven't mentioned before, Paul Robeson, oh bless, my daughter has actually marked this with a unicorn post-it because she plans to grow one of these. But Paul Robeson was recommended by Jess over at Roots and Refuge Farm, and she said it was the one tomato that she had on the most perfect summer day that she just literally had to sit down because it just tasted so good, and she's never had anything to compare to it. So if it's good enough for Jess, it's definitely good enough for me. Thorburns Terracotta is another one that I'm going to be sowing. This is a large slicer with a really amazing flavor. Ananas Noir, a beautiful tie-dye looking tomato, amongst others. But yeah, I'm very excited to get that into the ground as soon as it's warm enough. Okay guys, so now is a great time as well to get your brassicas sown. If you haven't done so already, it is not too late. I am going to be growing graffiti. I always grow graffiti every single year. It's a beautiful purple cauliflower, but I'm going to be adding to it 2 other beautiful cauliflower. I really love this, the look of this Sicilian violet, because it actually has purple leaves by the look of it as well. And then the purple of Sicily from Baker's Creek. This is from She Grows Veg, and this is Baker's Creek all year round cauliflower as well, just to have your standard white curds. And also guys, I absolutely will not waver as far as growing purple sprouting broccoli. Listen, if you've never had purple sprouting broccoli before, it's nothing like what you find in the stores, okay? Super sweet and nutty flavor, especially when it's been kissed by a frost. I had it for the first time in 2022, I think it was. And I could not believe how sweet it was, delectable. And I just was like, wow, is this what broccoli really tastes like? So purple sprouting broccoli, I recommend. And I'm very curious to try this, which I have found from Premier Seeds, is called summer purple sprouting broccoli. So I've never tried a summer version before. So I'm very excited to get both of those sown so that I can give them a try. Guys, listen, before I forget, I really wanted to mention Gomphrena. Now, this is a very drought resistant flower, and it produces the most amazing display. If you plant it like down a pathway on both sides, you are going to have the most glorious display, and it's very, very drought tolerant. So definitely one that you should include. Don't forget, you can have your potatoes chitting and ready to go into the ground now. Also spring onions. I love Lilia. It's my absolute favorite, super flavorsome. And what's really amazing about it is it does bulb up as well. So it can either be picked as a spring onion or as an actual bulb onion later on in the season. Hands down, my favorite tasting onion so far. If any of you have a recommendation that surpasses it, please do let me know, because I'm always on the lookout for new varieties. But so far, nothing has ever topped a Lilia. It's also a great time to get your root vegetables in the ground. The soil should be lovely and warm, and they should germinate really easily. Beetroots, Bolt Hardy, and also there's a golden, I think it's called Gold Burpee. Golden beetroots, absolutely delicious. I love this Burpees Golden. Now is a great time to get that in the ground. Also parsnips, if you've not already sown your parsnips, get those in the ground. They're a very long season crop that in the wintertime you will be thanking yourself. And of course, radishes. I'm really excited to try this radish. I think that my kids are going to go for it just by appearance. Watermelon radish from She Grows Veg. Of course, you can get your leeks in as well. Those do tend to take quite a while whenever I plant them. So yeah, now is a good time to get those into the ground. Don't forget, you can get your carrots, you can get your lettuces, you can get your greens into the ground, watercress, arugula, All of those are great things, great options that you can get planted. So thanks for watching. I hope you have some ideas of things that you would like to grow and give a try. For me personally, I am most excited about my tomatoes, but that is pretty much the same every single year. Let me know in the comment section what you're excited about growing. Are you new to growing? Have you been growing for a long time? I'd really love to get to know you guys in this community. Okay, until next time, take care of yourselves.